Merhaba ve Brazil'de artık gelenek haline gelen bir yayın neslinde beraberiz. Deloitte'un teknoloji, medya ve telekomünikasyon sektörleriyle ilgili yıllık olarak öngörülerini yayınladığı TMT 2015 raporunu konuşacağız. Bunun için stüdyomuzda Deloitte'un araştırma direktörü Duncan Stewart var. Duncan, welcome and thanks for joining us today.
Teşekkür. Good to be back here in 2015.
It's really nice having you here. Sevgili izleyiciler, raporu Duncan'ın sunumu eşlik edecek. Aynı zamanda ben de sorularla öne çıkan noktaları biraz daha açmaya çalışacağım. Duncan, ve aynı zamanda aslında Duncan'a soruyu sormadan önce şunu da söyleyeyim. O sorularımızı cevaplarken ben ardından size tercüme ediyor olacağım. Duncan, we can start with the report. I'm sure there are really very interesting stuff that you're going to tell us today. But to start with, let's talk about the technology predictions that you have. And we can see that the enterprise has a really more, I would say, weight this year in the report that we can see.
Normally when we talk about predictions, it has been always about the consumer. When we talked about smartphones, yes. When we talked about tablets, when we talked about things like voice over IP, it was consumer first and enterprise after. Now we have an interesting example from 2014. Many people expected wearables like Google Glass to be a significant consumer success. Mm-hmm. We even had Robert Scoble taking a picture of himself in the shower. Yeah. Deloitte said that about 4 million units of these would sell, which was much lower than most people, but even so we were wrong. The actual number sold was closer to 40,000. This was not a big consumer technology in 2014, and it doesn't look like it will be in 2015 either. But when we look at the enterprise use of wearables, medical, security, training, factories, pharmaceuticals, energy and mining, we look around the world and our Deloitte clients are already trying out wearables in the enterprise, not in the consumer. Another good example, and I'll skip ahead here, sorry, I have to do it this way, yeah, but let's talk a little bit about, where are we here? Not payments, drones. Everybody talks about drones. Yes. Drones are big in Europe, they're big in Asia, they're big in North America, and mostly it's about little plastic devices like this. And that's not actually the big market. So there were thousands of people lined up to try the little small plastic drones. Nobody was lined up to try this one. Why? Because this doesn't cost $1,000. This costs 300,000 to 400,000 Turkish lira. It flies in all conditions. You need to be a pilot. You file a flight plan, and you can see these blades. Those aren't small and plastic. Yes. That would hurt somebody.
Yeah, that's not safe.
But where it gets interesting is what can you do with this drone that you couldn't do with one of the little plastic ones? This is a real story from Canada. This smokestack, they were worried it had been damaged in a storm. And to get a helicopter would have cost too much money, taken too much time, and there were no helicopters. So instead they used a drone. The drone flew up, took pictures straight down, and was able to report back in a few minutes that everything was fine. So once again, it's the enterprise use that's much more interesting.
Let me translate it first. Sevgili izleyiciler, ben Duncan'a raporda öne çıkan, teknoloji tahminlerinde öne çıkan kurumsal müşteriler tarafını sordum. Daha doğrusu bu sene raporda bildiğiniz gibi dronlar, 3 boyutlu teknolojiler vesaire konularında kurumsal müşterilerin çok daha önemli bir ağırlığa sahip olacağı söyleniyordu. Ben de kendisine bunu sordum. O da geçtiğimiz yıldan başlayarak aslında Deloitte'un bu yönde tahminleri oldu ve bu sene bunun daha ciddi bir şekilde doğrulandığını söyledi. Buna örnek olarak tabii ki Google Glass ve benzer akıllı gözlüklerin aslında 4 milyon değil de 400 bin kadar, belki de daha düşük sayılarda sattığı örneğini verdi. Aynı öngörü aslında dronlar için de geçerli. Dronlar belki belli boyutlara kadar olanlar tüketiciler tarafından kullanılabiliyor ama tüketicilerin, yani bireysel tüketicilerin kullanmasının aslında güvenli olmadığı veya aynı zamanda parasal anlamda da onların bütçelerine uygun olmayan durumlar var. Bu yüzden yine kurumsal taraf burada sürükleyici oluyor, dedi Duncan. And yes, one of the reasons is that they're not becoming any cheaper in the short run, right? I mean, the same is for 3D technologies as well.
Well, I have some good slides on 3D. I'll skip over these ones, but This is a home 3D printer. It costs about 2,000 Turkish lira, but there are many problems with this technology. It takes weeks to learn how to use properly. They're very unreliable. They break all the time. But the biggest problem is that what they make are small plastic objects, and that's all they make. But I have a different story. I'm not sure if the camera can see this. This is a ring that I had made with a 3D printer. So my wife and I decided to renew our wedding vows for our 10th anniversary in California, and we had these rings made. But how do
That's
you...
beautiful.
Thank you. How do you make a 3D printed ring? You push a button and a ring? No. This is the interesting part. So here are the files that the jeweler used to make the ring on software. But I can't try on software. So what they did is they printed out the plastic ring, and I tried that on, and it wasn't the right size. Then Barbara tried hers on, and it was the wrong size and the wrong shape. So they changed it, and it still wasn't right. So they changed it again. A process that would have taken weeks and thousands of dollars was done in hours and took pennies. 3D printers as rapid prototyping in the enterprise changed the conversation. Time to market, cost, speed to market. They also produce a beautiful object that fits me perfectly. And I want to talk about these. These are hearing aid shells. Did you have a grandmother or grandfather who had a hearing aid?
Yes.
And they were always playing with it. And it made noises. Squeak, squeak. It didn't work. Because it didn't fit. What they do in Turkey, in Europe, in North America, around the world, they make custom 3D printing shells for the inside of the ear, and they fit perfectly and they work perfectly. And I want to focus on that, because whether it's the enterprise jewelry or hearing aid or other forms of manufacture, 3D printing allows for rapid prototyping by the enterprise. It also allows for the perfect fit. And when we look at the 3D printing market, 99% of the output of 3D printers will be enterprise, not consumer. This is not the factory in every home, but it is the next industrial revolution.
Still, yes, let me translate.
I'll let you translate that.
Yes. Ve aynı şeyin aslında kurumsal tarafın yine 3 boyutlu yazıcılar tarafında nasıl etkili olacağını sordum Duncan'a. O da bu konuda aslında özellikle prototip oluşturma ve cihazların kişiselleştirilebilmesi anlamında çok yardımcı olduğunu anlattı. Verdiği yüzük örneği eşiyle beraber işte kendi yüzüklerini 3 boyutlu bastırabilmeleri ve onun işte kendi parmak ölçülerine göre özelleştirebilmesi gibi bir örnek, ya da işte işitme cihazlarının aynı şekilde medikal amaçlarla kullanılan işitme cihazlarının yine hastaların veya işte ihtiyacı olan kişilerin kulaklarına çok uygun bir şekilde üretilebilmesi örnekleri de yine bunu destekliyor. 3D, yani 3 boyutlu yazıcılar belki kullanıcı tarafında, son kullanıcı için sadece plastik vesaire gibi küçük ürünler yapılmasını sağlayabilir ama kurumsal tarafta başlayarak aslında yeni bir endüstri devrimi geliyor dedi Duncan bize.
One thing I should add, many people think that once they had produced the prototype, maybe they then hit a button on a special 3D printer that made the ring. No, there are metal 3D printers, but they produce rings in like aluminum. And I asked my wife, and she doesn't want an aluminum wedding ring. Women are sometimes funny that way. This is white gold. So what they did is they made the prototype. They then took a mold of the prototype, and they poured the gold into the mold the same way jewelers have for 2,000 years. So the interesting thing about 3D printing is it doesn't replace traditional manufacturing. It works hand in hand with those tools.
Duncan'ın eklediği şöyle bir not daha var. Bugün 3 boyutlu yazıcılar, yani örneğin yüzük örneğinde aslında 3 boyutlu yazıcıyı yüzükle ilgili ölçü ve kalıp oluşturmak için aslında kullanıyorsunuz. Daha sonra geleneksel yöntem, geleneksel kuyumculuk yöntemiyle eğer bunun altından yapılmış olmasını istiyorsanız o yüzüğü oluşturmanız gerekiyor. Yani bugün 3 boyutlu teknolojiler, 3 boyutlu yazıcı teknolojileri hem geleneksel hem de yeni teknolojilerin aslında bir arada kullanılmasıyla ancak mümkün hale gelebiliyor dedi özetle. Now we can actually I want to go back to the wearables because recently, you know, Apple made a huge push forwards in this field, and I'm really curious about what you think about Apple Watch. Do you think that the company will be a game changer in this field?
Now, we work at Deloitte. We make predictions about categories like wrist-mounted wearables. We wrote about that in 2014, yes. And we said it's not a niche, it's a niche. Yeah. Sales so far worldwide look like that. Now, we can't comment on, is the Apple Watch going to sell 100 million units or 1 million units? We don't have the data for that. But we do look at the wearable space, and in our conversations with consumers around the world, the interest in a device with a screen that small continues to be fairly low. Now, it will be interesting to see how the Apple product does. One of the things that we should talk about almost certainly is when I go back here, and I'm sorry for flipping through the slides like this, but yes. This, payments. One of the killer applications for the Apple Watch may be, or any watch, may be the use of that technology for contactless payments, also known as near-field communications payments. This is one of our trends for 2015. Why don't I let you translate
yes. that? Açıkçası madem aynı zamanda giyilebilir teknolojilerin de kurumsal tarafta daha çok kullanacağını söylemesi üzerine raporda ben de şunu sordum. Hani yakın zamanda zaten Apple bildiğiniz gibi Apple Watch etkinliğini yaptı ve yeni saatlerinin fiyatları vesaire detaylarını açıkladı. Duncan'a bu konuda ne düşündüğünü söyledim. Çünkü Apple aslında bir oyun değiştirici şirket olabilir bu konuda. Duncan'ın görüşü aslında Apple'la ilgili tabii ki şirket olarak yorum yapmıyorlar. Ancak yani daha yakın vadede akıllı saatler için asıl sürükleyici, yani kullanımının yaygınlaştırması sağlayan şeyin NFC olabileceğini, yani temassız ödemeler olabileceğini söyledi. Şimdi bu konuya eğileceğiz çünkü bu aynı zamanda rapordaki bir diğer 2015'e dair bir öngörü. Yes, it's one of the predictions that you have in the report for 2005. Are we going? I'm sorry. Yes. Are we going to see that contactless payments are taken off at last?
So the problem was that people talked about contactless with our phones. It has not been happening up until 2014. As of the summer of 2014, worldwide, only about 2 million people were paying in-store with their phone using NFC. 2 million. We are predicting this year that 2 million will go to 60 million. So this is the year. This is the year. Why? More phones. Apple now supports NFC.
Apple Pay?
More terminals that read NFC. Consumers also need to change their brand. So I have to show many people have contactless payments on their credit card. Now, here is a survey. Oh, look, here's Turkey. Okay, wow, yeah, Turkey's doing very well. But let's not talk about Turkey. Let's look at the United Kingdom. In February of 2014, 51%, more than half of the people in the UK were disagreeing that they would use contactless payments on their credit card, not phone, credit card. 51%. 1 year later, 30% of all transactions in London under £20, which is about 60 Turkish lira, more than that, 30% were being done with contactless. What happened is that they had contactless in the UK, in England, nobody used it, nobody used it, nobody used it, everybody uses it. We think that people will get used to the idea of contactless on your credit card, and when you get used to that, it becomes very easy to start using it on your phone because the phone is in our hand. My wallet's in my pocket, my phone is in my hand. Which one am I going to use to pay?
Evet, söylediğimiz gibi 2015 raporunda temassız ödemelere çok önemli bir vurgu var. Ben de bunu Duncan'a sordum. Duncan anlattığı şöyle bir örnek. Geçtiğimiz yıl dünya çapında 2 milyon adet NFC ödemesi yapılırken bu sene bu sayının 60 milyona çıkması bekleniyor. İngiltere örneğinde verdiği gibi geçtiğimiz yıl insanların %51'i temassız ödemeye, bu kredi kartı da dahil, mesafeli durduğunu söylerken bu sene Londra'da gerçekleşen işlemlerin %30'u şimdiden NFC ile yapılmış durumda. Bu anlamda zamanının geldiğini ve sonunda gelişmeleri göreceğimizi söylüyor. Bunda tabii ki Apple Pay'in etkisi olacak ama diğer bütün üreticiler de buna katkı sağlayacak. Çünkü insanlar, Duncan'ın söylediğini aynen çevirirsem, insanlar cüzdanlarını ellerinde taşımıyorlar ama telefonlarını ellerinde taşıyorlar ve buraya erişmek, bunu ödemek artık çok daha kolay hale gelecek. Saatleri de yine buna eklediğini hatırlatmak istiyorum. And if we turn to media, your predictions on media, I really want to talk about it because media is becoming really interesting industry right now. The thing that is, yes, I mean, there's like, I mean, you're telling us that in the report. Am I right? You're telling traditional media is still strong, but it is not as strong. And yes,
we're not making a forecast for the media sector. Let me tell the story the right way. Last year, I was in Copenhagen, in Denmark, and a media company said, our sales are good. They're okay. They're down a little, but they're not too bad. But there's a real problem coming. When we look at millennials, people, your age, 18 to 34, when we look at millennials, this is a generation that will not spend on legal media content. And I heard that and I thought, because he publishes newspapers, and millennials don't read newspapers, and he publishes magazines, and they don't read magazines. But then I went and I looked at it, and I broke down the spending across all of the categories, and I discovered that millennials are spending less than they used to, but they still spend about $750, about 1,500 Turkish lira a year on legal media content. Different, sometimes it's streaming, but some of it is, let's skip ahead. Let me tell a story. I like this one. Nobody buys records anymore. Nobody buys CDs anymore. Even iTunes and not that big. So people, kids, young people don't spend on music. They spend more than they ever have. They don't spend on plastic. They spend on the experience. They spend on social. Similarly, they go to movies twice as often as the population as a whole. They go to sporting games. I mean, here, whether it's, I don't know, Fenerbahce or Galatasaray or Beşiktaş, they go out to the games. Not every game, but think about it. Do you go to a game with your friends once or twice a year? That's 100 Turkish lira of legal media content spending.
Let me translate it first. Medya öngörüleriyle ilgili aslında bir soru sordum. O da aslında raporda belki biraz daha hala geleneksel medyanın güçlü olacağı ama bir taraftan da aynı zamanda dijitalin de özellikle Y kuşağının ilgisi nedeniyle dönüşeceğine dair bir not var. Duncan bu konudaki yorumu şöyle. Aslında diyor ki Y kuşağı hiç yani düşünüldüğü gibi aslında yeni medya, dijital medya para harcamıyor değil. Aslında harcıyorlar. Bu işte online dinleme servisi, izleme servisleri vesaire olabiliyor. Ama ilginç bir şekilde canlı etkinlikler de onların çok ilgisini çekiyor. İşte bu maçlara gitmek veya konserlere katılmak olabiliyor. Bu yüzden aslında senelik $750 kadar da çıkabiliyor onların yaptıkları harcamalar. Bu yüzden aslında yeni bir deneyim olacağını öngörüyor Deloitte. Yes, genel olarak bundan bahsetti. And yes.
Well, let me just close. This is Canadian data, not Turkish, but we did a poll in Canada and we asked people who are going to spend the same or more. Millennials, over 80% of millennials are going to spend the same or more on music, and nearly 90% are going to spend the same or more on live sports, much higher than either 33 to 49-year-olds or people 50 plus. And I find that really interesting. The generation that isn't spending is actually spending more on live events than older people.
Şimdi burada gösterdiği veriler aslında Kanada'ya ait ve burada yaşlara göre insanların canlı müzik ve spor etkinliklerine harcadıkları parayı gösteriyor. Gördüğünüz gibi aslında tahminlerde 18-32 yaş arasındaki grubun bu etkinliklere en fazla para harcayan kişi olması grup olması dikkat çekiyor. Çünkü aslında hani düşünüldüğü gibi bu tip geleneksel etkinliklere 50 yaşın üstünün daha çok harcaması beklenirken 18-32 başı çekiyor. Bu oldukça yes, that's really interesting.
Well, and it really adds up because when we look at millennials around the world, this spending, it's higher in North America, but this spending worldwide on legal media content would be over 300 billion Turkish lira per year.
Ve millennial'ların yani Y kuşaklarının senelik harcaması, medya içeriğine harcaması toplamda 300 milyar lirayı bulacağını söylüyor. You said lira, but
no, yeah, this is I'm converting in my head.
All right, yes.
It's $750 per person in North America. There's 83 million millennials in North America, which is 62 billion US dollars, about 145 billion Turkish lira in North America alone. Europe would be another 85, 90. Asia would be another 60 to 70. Worldwide, about 300 billion Turkish lira.
Evet, yani 300 milyar liralık bir harcamadan bahsediyoruz toplamda Y kuşağı için ki bu oldukça yüksek bir rakam. That's really high.
I travel around the world all the time. I can do this in krona, I can do it in Swiss francs. I'm good at conversions.
Çok fazla sayı konuşuyoruz sevgili çünkü Duncan onu söylüyor. Çok fazla seyahat ediyorum ve bütün neredeyse işte para birimlerine çevirebilirim diyor aynı zamanda. Çünkü verileri gördüğünüz gibi Türk lirasına çevirip de aynı zamanda söylüyor. And you also say that printed books and versus e-books and yes, I want to talk about
so
it.
I have a great slide on this one. Let's go back. So we've known for years that we can load hundreds or thousands of books on an e-reader. We own the devices. We have laptops, smartphones, tablets, e-readers. Here, do I have the right slide? Yes. Nicholas Negroponte from MIT Media Lab in 2010 said that by 2015, the physical book is dead. How is he doing? Not very well. Around the world, 80%, 85%, 90%, 99%. In Sweden, 99% of all books are still print. In Italy, 95%. Even in Canada, in the US, 85% are still in print. Print books are unique. Nobody buys CDs, nobody buys DVDs, people don't read print newspapers, but print books are still the preferred, and not just of me, 50 years old. My children love print books too.
That's what I was going to ask. Do you have like for ages or like different generations?
So here we go. This is newspapers. Millennials are primarily digital, but when we look at books, millennials strongly prefer it. There's this lady in the UK. She wrote a book about a girl who goes online. It was the best-selling book in British history. 20 times as many print sales as digital.
Yes, the story is about digital, but it still sells in print,
It's about digital. It is sold to kids who are digital, and it still sells in print. So why? People like, I'll let you
Before
translate.
that, let me translate it. So, sevgili izleyiciler, raporda e-booklar ve basılı kitaplar arasında, yani e-kitaplar ve basılı kitaplar arasındaki kıyaslamada hala basılı kitapların önde olacağına dair bir öngörü var. Bunu da aklına sorduğumda o gördüğünüz verilerle İsveç'te bile örneğin %99 hala basılı kitapların %1 e-kitapların olduğu, daha doğrusu pazarda hala kullanıldığı veya işte okuyucular tarafından tercih edildiği örneklerini gösterdi. Bu dünya genelinde böyle. Siz de bunu biliyorsunuz zaten. Ancak basılı kitaplarla ilgili örneğin ilginç bir örnekte az önce gördüğümüz İngiltere'de yayınlanan ve aslında içeriği tamamen dijitalle ilgili olan bir kitabın işte dijital kopyası ile baskı kopyası arasındaki fark bastığı 20 kat daha fazla satıyor. Bu aynı zamanda kuşaklara göre de değişmiyor yani bu öngörü. Çünkü hala Y kuşağı da ağırlıkla e-kitap yerine basılı kitap okumayı tercih ediyor. Peki neden? And why? This is happening.
They like the smell. 10% of university students say that they prefer print books, and the reason why is they like how they smell. They don't just have smell, they have covers. I want to use this one. Merva, you ever come to Toronto?
No.
Okay. No. If you're in Toronto, if anybody from Webrazi comes to Toronto, you come to my house. This is my living room.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So you come in, you sit on the chair, right? And I say, can I get you a drink? I go to the kitchen. I open maybe a bottle of wine. I come back. Everybody is standing in front of my bookshelf because you can't judge a book by its cover, but you can judge a person by the cover of their book. 36% of millennials say that they carry around a print book that they aren't even reading because it makes them feel smarter.
Okay, that's really interesting. I'll translate it. Şöyle, bir kere insanların kitapları sevmesinde hala kokusu, dokusu gibi etkenler var. Bir diğeri de Duncan bize gösterdiği aslında evinde kendi kütüphanesinin, Toronto'daki evinin kütüphanesinin fotoğrafı. Diyor ki hani ben diyor işte evime geldiğinizde mutfağa bir şeyler hazırlamaya gittiğimde insanların büyük çoğunluğu geldiğim zaman bu kütüphanenin önünde duruyor oluyorlar. Ve çünkü diyor aslında insanları diyor hani kitapları daha doğrusu kapaklarından belki tanıyamayabilirsiniz ama insanlar okuduğu kitaplara göre tanıyabilirsiniz. İşte Y kuşağının %36'sı da elindeki kitaba göre daha yani elinde bir kitap göründüğü zaman daha akıllı göründüğüne inanıyor. Bunu söylüyor. And yes, that is the reason why millennials keep
Well, it's one of them. There's another one. This was a study done in Norway in 2014. Things that we read on screen, we don't remember as well or as long.
That's correct,
it is correct.
Right, yes.
So when you're my age and I read a book, I mean, I could be dead next year. Okay, maybe not. But when you're young, you read textbooks. You read books that you want to remember for the rest of your life. So I think it's really important, and that's one of the reasons why young people are so interested. So there was a university in the US. They gave students the textbook for free in PDF. 40% of students went out and paid with their own money for a print copy of the book because even though they had a free one, they want the print copy because they find it better for studying.
Bir diğer sebep de sevgili izleyiciler basılı kitapların okunmasında yapılan araştırmaların insanların basılı kitapları çok daha okuduğu zaman e-kitaplara göre çok daha fazla daha iyi hatırlaması. Yani aslında e-kitaplar değil bir ekranda okuduğunuz şeye göre kitapta okuduğunuz şeyi çok daha iyi hatırlıyorsunuz. Bu da önemli bir deneyim aslında neden baskı kitapları hala okuduğumuza dair ilginç bir çıkarım. Yes, actually that's all I want to ask, but I want to hear if you want to add anything or just anything else that you want to mention here. Yes, please.
Do you cook?
Occasionally, yes.
In the United States, last year, for the first time in history, people spent more money in restaurants than they did in grocery stores. Do you own a car?
No, I don't.
No. Neither do my kids. They don't even have driver's licenses.
We're not really interested.
Well, but do you play music?
Not much, no.
Some people do.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to get at is your grandparents. My great, I shouldn't hit the microphone. My grandmother made clothing with her fingers. She knitted and stitched it.
Yeah,
she made food. She made pottery. She made bowls. She also farmed. She had a garden. When I look at my kids, by the way, are 18, 19, 21, and 24. I have my own millennial focus group at dinner. When I look at kids today, they don't have many physical things they own, and they don't do many things with their hands that aren't on a smartphone or a computer. And when I do focus groups with millennials, the idea of I want to cook, I want to play music, I want to make my own things is a very powerful, one of them, we asked millennials, what do you most want to do? They want to write more cards. Physical, pen, paper, they want to write because they miss it and they know it's important. And I think that there is a profound generational change going on. I'll let you translate that. And one more thing I want to talk about.
Sure, yeah. Aslında Duncan'a şimdi sözü bıraktım. Kendisine eklemek istediği notlardan bir tanesi de şu. Öncelikle işte benim yemek yapmadığım vesaire gibi konulardan bana da sorarak yani beni de o gruba dahil ederek kendisi de evdeki çocukları işte 18, 21, it's 18, 21, your kids.
Oh, my kids.
Yeah.
18, 19, 21, 24.
18, 19, 21 ve 24 yaşındaki 4 çocuğu zaten diyor evde kendi odak grubum var, fokus grubum var. Onlar üzerinde diyor test yapıyorum vesaire. Neyse yani sonunda şunu söylüyoruz. Y kuşağı her ne kadar işte araba sahibi olması, yemek yapması bile kendi kendine farklı bir şeyleri yapmaya hevesli olan bir kuşak. And yes.
Yes. Last one, and I'm not saying this because you're a woman. I say this around the world.
Okay.
According to Credit Suisse, Looking at companies, technology companies,
Yes.
Webrazi companies, 41% have 0 women on the board of directors, the third worst. That is embarrassing, it is shameful,
Yes.
we should do better. Sometimes people say, well, no, I can't have women on my board because they don't know how to design chips. I have been on the board of semiconductor companies, 3 of them. And I hired and fired CEOs. I raised money, I took the companies public, I sold them, I made HR decisions, I did thousands of things on the board of directors of semiconductor companies. Do you know what I never did once? I never needed to build a chip. Women are completely capable today of being on the board of companies. Why should we do it? Because it was International Women's Day? No. Because the same study shows that companies with at least one, not 10 women, one woman with at least 1 woman on their board outperform companies with none by a large and growing amount. So we can have women on our boards because it's the right thing to do, or we can just do it to make money. My phrase is, the status quo is not the static quo. This needs to change.
Very good point. Thanks for bringing it up. I'll translate it. Son olarak Duncan'ın bahsettiği şey kadınların teknoloji sektöründeki maalesef azınlığı. Gördüğünüz gibi sevgili seyirciler, bu kadınların 2013 yılında yönetim kurulunda olan kadınların oranları, teknoloji sektörü bu konuda oldukça düşük bir paya sahip, hatta neredeyse 0. Duncan bu konuda bir çip üreticisini ziyaret ettiğini ve onlarda neden kadın olmadığı sorusuna çünkü kadınların çip üretmeyi bilmediği gibi bir cevap aldığını söylüyor. Tabii bu aslında tahmin edeceğiniz gibi geçerli bir sebep aslında değil. Gösterdiği and the other slide please. Yes, burada da gösterdiği diğer farksa aslında bize bir kadın, sadece bir kadın eğer yönetim kurulunda varsa şirketin performansının üstteki gibi, yani gri'deki gibi büyük bir sıçrama gerçekleştirebileceği. Bu yüzden kadınların da özellikle teknoloji sektöründe çok daha fazla üst sıralarda yer alması gerektiği mesajını verdi. Bu gerçekten çok önemli ve güzel bir nokta. Duncan, it was a real pleasure. Thanks for joining us today. I think you finished your notes, right?
Yes. No. Okay. Teşekkür.
Thank you very much.
Teşekkür.
Sevgili seyirciler, bizleri dinlediğiniz için teşekkür ederiz. Bir başka programda görüşmek üzere. Hoşça kalın.